We're going to start with the presentation of the Master in International Food and Beverage Management, IFBM of ESCP Europe, and I leave the floor to Elena Galvagno. She is the Admission and Program Coordinator of ESCP Europe for this master program. I hope you enjoy the webinar, and thanks again for being here.
Hi, everyone. Hi. Thank you, Lucy, for this introduction. And hi also to Isabel, and thank you for being here with us today. I will start with a short introduction about ESCP Europe Business School, starting from our mission. Our mission is to inspire and educate tomorrow's business leaders. Here in this slide, you can see some numbers. What is important here is the 6 campuses worldwide, because we opened in 1819 our first campus in Paris, because we are a French business school, and then during the years we opened other five campuses all over the Europe. In particular, we have a campus in London, Madrid, Berlin, Warsaw, and Berlin. As you can see here, we are the first business school in the world because we were born in 1819. So this year, 2019, it's a very important year for us actually, because we celebrate the bicentenary of our school. So we are very, very proud of this. Here you can see also that we can count more than 150 professors from more than 20 different nationalities and more than 130 academic alliances worldwide. Here you can see a short history of our school. As I told you before, ESCP Europe is established in Paris in 1819. And another important year here is the 2004, because ESCP Europe arrived in Italy, and in particular, ESCP Europe opened his first campus and only one campus in Italy, in Turin. Here you can see the different national degree that our students can get by studying at ESCP Europe. In particular, ESCP Europe awards a national degree in 5 countries out of the 6 it is located in. And what is important here for us is the German Master of Science. Why? Because with the Food and Beverage Master, there is the possibility to study also in Berlin at the end of the program. And in this way, our student can get the German Master of Science. But we will talk about this later on. Here you can see our accreditation. We are very proud of this accreditation because we are among the 1% of the business school worldwide that has the Triple Crown accreditation. And we are proud because they are a formal acknowledgement of our teaching quality. So they are very, very important for us. Here you can see some rankings of the Financial Times. In particular, what is important is the Master in Management, which is one of our main program. It has been ranked as the first master in Italy last year and 5th master worldwide. So we are again very proud of this ranking. Here you can see the portfolio of our school, coming from the bachelor to the master in management to the specialized master, where we can find also the master in food and beverage management, going then to the executive education program and PhD programs. Faculty, again, as I told you before, we can count more than 150 full faculty professor across the 6 campuses, and more than 130 affiliate and visiting professor coming from more than 20 different nationalities. And well, I would like to finish this general part, this first part on our business school with the alumni network, because the ESCP Europe Alumni Association counts today more than 55,000 members, and Isabel is one of these 55 members, and they are very important for us actually, because they are proud ambassadors of the school, and especially ambassadors of their program. So the program that they have followed during the years of ESCP Europe. So now we will go deeper on the Master in International Food and Beverage Management, and then I will leave the stage also to Isabel, that will talk about her experience during and after also the program. This is a 1-year full-time postgraduate program across 2 countries. And the countries, of course, are Italy and France, and in particular, Turin and Paris. We chose these 2 countries because we think that they are some of the 2 main territories of excellence in the food and beverage sector. Business links. Why? Because we have strong partnership with the leading companies in the food and beverage industry, and in this way our students can build their strong network of contacts in the food and beverage companies, thanks to consultancy project, company experience, and many other activities that I will explain to you later on during the presentation. Theory meets practice, again, because we think that the best way to learn is to combine to the theory also the practice experience through, again, company experience, consultancy project, and also another great program, which is the Chef for a Week in Alma. And we will talk about this during the presentation, and also Isabel will give you her experience in Alma later on. This is the structure of the program. I forgot to tell you that the whole program is in English, so no worries if you don't know the French or Italian language, because it's a whole English program. And it starts in September every year in Turin, until December. During this first term, you have the core courses. So, for example, you will have a marketing principle course, the managerial economics, effective communication, corporate strategy, and financial accounting, where you learn the basics of these topics. Then from January until mid-April, always in Turin, you have the second term of the program with what we would call the advanced course. For example, we have here sales management, HR management, big data, and other elective courses. And then we have two weeks of breaks, and then students leave to Paris for 2 months and a half until the end of June. Again, during the Paris term, you have the advanced course. What happens after June? Students have to do the international internship, and it can be actually worldwide. So it doesn't have to be in Turin or Paris, but for example, Isabel is now located in Amsterdam. So potentially you can go wherever you want. Also, of course, also in extra European countries. In the meantime, students have to write the thesis, and the final discussion of the thesis is within December. So in total, the program is a 15-month program because it starts in September and it ends in December of the following years. Again, our practice approach through many activities. First of all, we have the consultancy project, the company visit, the chef for a week, and then the professional experience. I would like to start from the consultancy project, and I will explain to you in a few words what a consultancy project is, and then Isabel will talk about her consultancy project. It's actually a real project. It's a real consultancy project, and we divide the class in different teams, in different groups of 5-6 people, more or less. And the companies in the food and beverage sector give to our students, to each team, a project, and they carry on and they work on this project from September until April, so during the whole period in Turin. Isabel, if you want to talk about your experience with your company project, which kind of company project, which was your task, which was your work company, so explain to us your experience.
Sure, thank you, Elena, for the floor. Can everyone hear me?
Okay, I think so, yeah.
Yes, okay. We can hear you, Isabel, please go.
Perfect. Thank you. So I also had to do a consultancy project for Lurisia. So this is an Italian beverage company. They basically have sparkling natural mineral water. They bottle it. And they also have beverages that are like aranciata, these more kind of fruity, bubbly drinks that are more healthy than carbonated sugary drinks. And so their issue was to understand what they legally can and cannot put as marketing terms on their bottles, on their label basically. And it was a very interesting project for many reasons. First of all, it's a very interesting mix between marketing and law. Basically, you have to understand legally what you can put, and then that also you have to check what you can put in different markets. So the laws are different even in different European countries. So at the time, the UK was still part of Europe. So we had to look at continental Europe, the UK, and the US, and also specifically Italy within the EU. And what was very interesting is that we actually saw that we could put 3 different labels on the same product just because they were in 3 different markets with 3 different laws. So it was very interesting because it really gave you an insight to the real life challenges of marketing, because everyone thinks, oh, marketing is fun, it's fluffy, you can say what you want, sell what you want to your consumer, but actually you have real constraints, and that was very eye-opening for us. And then on top of that, I think the only other thing that I would like to add was it was very nice working with a PhD student. She was overlooking our consultancy project, and she was very helpful, very organized. So even though it's a whole 6-month project, if you organize yourself well, it's very doable, and you should try to learn the most you can of it. And then on top of that, it's also challenging to work with the same 5 people for 6 months, and that also develops a lot your soft skills of how to work with other people. You learn about conflict resolution, about or being organized, and getting quality work done within the deadline.
And also for the final presentation, I forgot to mention that the team has to present in front of the whole board, right, Isabel? The whole board of the company. So it's quite stressful, I think.
It is, no, definitely. And it also, this project counts for a lot of the credits. So definitely, Elena, as you said, it's a very serious project. It's a real consultancy project. You take it seriously, you dress up, you go to their headquarters, you present to the whole board, the CEO, the CMO. And it's fantastic to see that real adults actually are taking your advice. And so it's a fantastic opportunity, to be honest.
Okay, thank you, Isabel. Going ahead with the presentation, I would like to talk about the company visit. Here you can see some pictures from the previous years, last years. In total, we have more than 20 days of company visits, and actually we prefer to call them company experiences because they are not only a simple visit, but they are more a real experience in a company. During these company experiences, students have the opportunity to visit the company, but also to meet managers from the different areas. And we have also a nice YouTube playlist where we upload also all our video of the company visit. If you want to have a look at it, it's nice to see what they did and what they are going to do in the following year. Also, Isabel, again, if you want to talk a little bit about your experience with the company visit.
Sure. So what I was actually really surprised by was the huge variation of different companies you can visit during these company visits. Everything from old family-owned businesses all the way to multinational companies. There was even startups, always in the food and beverage industry. And then on top of that, within the food and beverage industry, it also ranged from industry. So we even were able to see the two biggest wineries in Florence, well, not Florence, in that region.
Yeah, Tuscany, I mean.
Tuscany, yes,
yeah.
Thank you. Which was a huge opportunity, such an honor as well. So going from wineries, distilleries, all the way to mass manufactured FMCG foods like Barilla pasta, for example, which is known and loved worldwide, to coffee. We went to 2 different coffee houses, chocolate, so many chocolate factories. And so it's really enriching to see how our food is made from A to Z, to be honest. And also to have a better understanding of what what manufactured food is. So when you go to a Barilla factory and you see that actually pasta is made the same way you would make it at home, just on a mass scale with machines, but that doesn't compromise on quality. That for me was maybe the most enriching thing I learned, because I always wanted to work in FMCG, and this just pushed me more towards that side, because the only thing that was holding me back was thinking that manufactured food means always processed food, which is not the case.
Okay, thank you. Okay. And then the Chef for a Week, which is a program of 1 week in Alma, which is the International School of Italian Cuisine. During this week, students have the chance to live for one week, actually, the life of a chef. Learning directly from them, and also through a number of seminars, team building activities. They also cooked a lot, and they hit a lot also during this week. Again, Isabel, if you want to talk about your experience in Alma.
Sure.
Okay.
So what was really nice about Alma is not only did we get to actually cook with the same appliances in a real kitchen, actually, as a real chef would, with chefs overlooking us and guiding us, helping us. We created real nice fancy food. So if anyone is interested in that side of the food and beverage business, that's definitely an opportunity for them. But also we actually had lectures within this cooking school with real chefs and real lecturers. So everything from how to plan a menu if you want to be a restaurant manager or a demand planner in a restaurant, to the finances of it, how to put a price on a menu, why is there that kind of price, all the way to the deconstruction of an actual dish and how to put a dish together and its respective menu. So you really see the kind of 360 vision on what it means to own a restaurant. So a lot of people from my class were interested in going into the restauration business, so that was very enriching for them.
Okay, good. And then the last thing is the speaker in class, because we think that the best way to learn is to combine, as I told you before, the theory learned in class to the direct words of managers. Indeed, we invite in all our courses some top managers from the food and beverage companies who talk about their own experiences classes, and they bring to the class their some tips for their future career. I don't know if Isabel, you remember one speaker in particular that you want to mention here and you want to talk about?
Sure. So it's difficult to choose from because, to be honest, there were so many different speakers that came to us, and that was a great honor to have people for anything from a CMO from a multinational company all the way to head consultants in the biggest marketing consultancies come and talk to us. But for me, I think, and for the rest of the class as well, one of the speakers that stood out the most was a top manager from Danone, the French dairy company. He talked to us specifically about how our market is changing with millennials being more into sustainable foods and how you can actually deliver that. And it was very inspiring to see that a big company is actually trying to make efforts to meet these new consumer needs, at the same time meeting the Earth's new ecological needs. And it was nice to see that this was taken seriously by some of the biggest companies in the world, not just, a fluffy marketing campaign. So that was really great.
Okay, and this allows you also to build a strong network of contacts, right, in the food and beverage industry, actually. And this is useful also at the end of the program when you look at your internship, because you have a strong network of contacts, and this is always super useful. Then here you can see some companies where our students have found their internship or where they are working now. Of course, they are not all here because we don't have enough place, but these are just some examples. And here you can see all the companies who developed activities with us, with the Master in Food and Beverage Management this year. But every year we confirm some companies, but we also change some of them. And we try to improve and to add some new companies to our network. And all these companies do consultancy projects, company visits, speakers in class. So there are many different ways to develop activities and to interact with our students. Here you can see a short, just a little job survey of the class of 2016-2017 academic year. They graduated last year in June, and less than 3 months after graduation, the 82% of them were employed. And especially the most important thing is that 79% of them were in the food and in the food and beverage sectors. At the right side, then you can see some career opportunities. For example, marketing manager, brand management manager, but also export and import management, communication manager, and so on. As you can see, we don't have a focus in, for example, finance or sales, but the main area, the main topic of this master is everything around marketing and communication, branding, digital strategy, and so on. This is the class profile of this year. We have in class 41 students coming from 10 different nationalities, and 61% of them are international. So there are more international students than the Italian ones, and we are quite proud of this. They come from various faculties, and they have different academic background. For example, 37% of them have a marketing and communication background, but it's not mandatory, of course, to have already an economic background or a marketing background, because we, as we will see later, we accept all the backgrounds, so any field of studies is accepted. The work experience, it's not mandatory. This year we have an average period of work experience of 1 year. And also the age, the average age is this year is 25 years old. So the requirements, who should apply to this master? You need to have a bachelor or a master degree in any field of studies, as I told you before. Fluency in English, because the whole program is in English. So we ask for a C1 level of English. Previous work experience is not mandatory, but of course it's a plus, it's an added value for your application. And of course, we need a real motivation to join this master, which is not a general management master, but it's a master in management in a specific sector. So the motivation here, it's really important for us. How the admission process works. You have to start your application online to this link that you can see here. Here, the system will ask you to fill in some forms with all your information. So, of course, name, first name, address, everything concerning your bachelor degree or master degree, your working experience, if you have it, your international experience, your extracurricular activities, everything, it's good. And then you have to upload in these systems some documents. For example, if you have an IELTS or a TOEIC or a TOEFL or other English certificate, you have to upload them here. We need also a CV in English, an uploaded CV, an updated CV, sorry, in English as well. The GMAT, if you have a GMAT certificate, you can always upload it here. And then when you close the application, we will receive all these documents. We will check all your documents, and we will invite you to the personal interview. Actually, the personal interview is not the only test that you will have to face during the admission session, because the personal interview is mandatory for all the candidates. Then, if you don't have any English certificate, you have to do also our English certificate, our English test, because we need to test your English level. And again, if you don't have the GMAT certificate, you have to do our logical test, which is called SHL. So in total are 3 tests, but if you have some certificate of language or logic, you can be exempted from some of these tests. I don't know if Isabel wants you to share with us if you remember your admission session, if you have some, I don't know, some tips for candidates that you want to share with us.
Yeah, definitely. As a tip, I would say just study, hard for the SHL, if that's what you're going to do. That's personally what I did, so I can't speak about the GMAT, but it's definitely a challenge, and if you sit down and you study it every day for maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks, depending on your level, it should be fine. It's doable. You just have to be invested, to be honest. And as a funny anecdote, I just want to thank Elena for being so sweet, actually, during the application process, because I remember I had broken my ankle just 1 week before, and I was on crutches, and my computer webcam wasn't working, neither was the microphone. So on a crutches and a broken ankle, I had to go under the table and find the wires and redo everything. And I had to, I think, twice reschedule my interview with you, and you were very sweet about it. So don't be scared. Everyone in the IFBM circle is very nice.
Thank you, Isabel. The admission test take place at the Turin campus, but of course for the international candidate, as Isabel, we always organize Skype interview, and also the SHL can be done during a Skype call. So don't worry about this. You don't have to come in person to Turin for the admission test. We have other admission session, one per month actually. The next one will be on April 17th. And for this day, the application will close 10 days before. And then we have other session, one in May, one in June, and one in July. So no worries, you still have time to join the program until July. Then I would like to close my presentation with the tuition fees for the academic year 2019-2020. The tuition fees are set at 26,500, and they cover everything you heard so far. So the Chef for a Week program, all the company visits, all the speakers in class, all the company projects, all the interactive activities are covered from the tuition fees. Which is not covered are the accommodation and the meals. Then, to close, I would like to talk about also of another option, which is the Master of Science in Berlin. I already talked about this at the beginning of my presentation, because by attending an extra semester at the Berlin campus at the end of the program, students can obtain the German Master of Science degree in Economics and Management with a specialization in Food and Beverage Management. This is important, especially for students who have only, let me say, only a bachelor degree. Most of them choose to continue their path with an extra semester in Berlin. So the program will be Turin for the first 2 terms, the Paris for the third term, and Berlin. So in total 3 countries in the last part of the program. So at the end of this this program, you can get the Master of Science. Of course, you don't have to decide to enroll to the Master of Science at the beginning of the program. You can start with the Turin and Paris part, and then you have time to think about this option. And if you want to join also the Master of Science, you can apply until within January of next year. So you start your program, and then you think about this option if you want to continue or not with Berlin. This is my presentation of the master. Thank you to everyone. Now, if you have questions for me, for me and Isabel, of course, we will be more than happy to answer to you.
Thank you very much, Elena. It's been very interesting to hear about ESCP Europe and also about the IFBM. We do have some questions. I'd like to leave a few minutes for Isabel so she can tell what it was like to be a student of ESCP, what it was like to participate in the masters. And then I'd like to remember everyone that we will read the questions from the quick questions and answers section. So please submit whatever you'd like to know about the masters, or about living in Italy, living in France, or about internships, work opportunities. Is the questions and answers section. And don't worry about writing down Elena's email or phone number, because we will send you in the following days an email, not only to thank you for your participation, but also with any details that you need to know to apply, anything that you need for the next deadline, and also to contact Elena. So I'll leave the floor to Isabel so she can tell a little bit more about what her experience was like. Welcome, Isabel.
Thank you, Lucienne. So basically, I think the two main things I want to focus on in 2 words is international, and the second word would be passion. So the first, international, I say that because when I was there in the class of 2017 to 2018, we were a class of 20 people, so quite nice, quite intimate, and from 12 different nationalities. So I'm talking about like maybe 6 different continents. So it was very eye-opening to meet new people, new cultures. Obviously, they brought food from their own culture, so that was fantastic for everyone. We even had a potluck dinner. It was great. But more importantly, you really do learn how to work with people from all over the world, specifically within the food and beverage industry. So that's always a fantastic skill to learn wherever you want to end up in life. And this also ties into our professors. So as we were located in the Italy campus and French campus, they were mostly professors from those respective countries. But that's also great to understand that culture if that's what you're interested in later in life as well. And then coming now to the passion part, just quickly, I saw a lot of the Q&A questions were asking, well, I have this as a background of studies, can I still join? What I want to tell you is that, of course, you can. In our class, we had all different kinds of undergraduate degrees from, I did human geography myself, other people did computer science, there were people who did business, and then telecommunications, communications, that sort of thing. So it's a very broad range. And so all you really have to do is bring your passion to the table for the food and beverage industry. That's honestly one of the most fulfilling things, was just to be with your peers that all are working towards the same goal. Even if those goals might be different, the underlying goal was all to work in the food and beverage industry. So if you know for sure that's what you want to do and that's what you're passionate about, definitely join, because that will not only enrich your future goals, but also enrich the lives of your peers around you. So those are the main points I wanted to talk about. And I think other than that, what I also really enjoyed were the classes. So there was a really wide variety of classes. Obviously, it's a business management course, so it focuses a lot on business, but it's also very tangible, and what you learn can be applied very hands-on. So for example, I remember when we were having classes on things like effective communication, or I forgot the name of the course, but it was something about working with interculturally with different cultures and stuff like that. A lot of people are quick to kind of dismiss that and think, oh, it's very, like fluffy and theoretical. But then when I started my internship and then also now started my job, I realized how important that is and how much it's personally helped me. So that's also very fulfilling. I don't know if we should go on to the Q&A questions.
Yes.
Or
yes, I think we should go through the questions that we received. Thank you, everyone. Thanks to Elena and Isabel, our speakers. We had a personal thank you from Romuald to Isabel when she first started talking about the company projects. And we also had a comment from Russ. He sent us his greetings. And he said he didn't have any questions, but he thought that was a really good presentation for him. So thank you, everyone, for joining us from all over the world. It was good to have you here. We will start with the questions as of right now. And just don't worry about writing the context or writing anything, taking notes, because you will receive everything that you need to apply, to contact Elena, to contact ESCP, if not tomorrow, the following day. Okay? So I would like to start with the questions from the backgrounds of some of our students, just to confirm, for example, for Marianne, that she says she's a graduate in food science and technology, and she has a master's degree in plant production. Can she apply? Can she participate in this program?
Absolutely, yes, because as I told before, we do accept all different backgrounds. So, as you can see in the first part of the program, we put the core courses. So in this way, you will learn the basics of marketing principles, finance, managerial economics. So don't worry about if you don't have an economic background, because you are totally eligible with this kind of degree. So yes.
Okay. So the same answer to Uwaze that says that he had a bachelor in telecommunication. It is possible
Absolutely.
to do the master's.
Think about, sorry, Lucy, think about one of alumnus who was philosophy, who were coming from philosophy. So just think about him, and this is the answer.
Okay. Philip, thanks for the presentation. Can you send me more information on my email? Yes, we will do that. Don't worry. And Noam says also that he enjoyed the presentation. So I'm really glad to see all of your positive comments. And I would like to, now that we're talking about the application, Romuald was asking, does age count? I am 30. Is it possible for me to apply?
Actually, you are a little bit borderline, because this year we have students until 28 years old. So 30, it's a little bit, again, borderline, and you have to know that, honestly, you can be in class with other people who are younger than you and probably less experienced than you. So if this is good for you and you are very, very passionate and very motivated to join this master, it's okay, but you have to know that probably you will be with younger people in class.
Okay, that's good to know, Romuald. You have to think about it. I would like to, also about the application, Maria says, if I don't pass the test on April, can I try it again in the following months?
No, it's not possible. You have just one test per year. So you have to try again next year.
The following year?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, but don't worry, Maria. I think if you study and
don't be too negative.
Go for it. Yes. Alexandre just asked, he's 45. Can I apply to the master's? As Elena said before.
45, it's too much, definitely. So 30, it's borderline, but 45, I'm sorry, but it's too much.
Okay. Okay. The next. I'm sorry, Alexandra. He just sent us a very sad face.
Sorry.
But you can get in touch with the ESCP and see if there is another program.
Yeah, because for example, we have many executive education programs. So if you get in touch with us, you will. I will advise you to hear my colleague who is managing the executive education program. So no worries, there are.
Yes. Okay. So Alexandria, I encourage you to write to ESCP, tell them your background, your age, what you study, what you do, and they will for sure find you a program that makes sense for you. I have a question, and I would like both Elena's and Isabel's comment. Maria asked if ESCP helps the students find accommodation. So also, Isabel, if you can tell about what it was like for you to search for a place in Italy and in France.
Sure. So definitely ESCP in France has help in finding accommodation for students on their French campus. Maybe Elena can talk more about the accommodation in Italy, because I wasn't aware of it at the time, if there is any. But either way, Turin, what's fantastic about Turin is that it's a small enough city. Everyone is very friendly. The locals there are fantastic, to be honest. So it really did not take me long at all. I went on a couple Facebook groups for accommodations. There's a big university in Turin not far from our campus. So there are a lot of accommodation options for those students, so also for us. And I went to 9 different house visits in the one day I was in Italy, and I found my accommodation the same day. It was fantastic, and it's not expensive, especially for a Western European country, for the accommodation. And everyone else in the class that I know of as well, it took them a couple of days up to a week to find a place. So they just had an Airbnb until then. So really not hard.
Okay.
Yeah, we send in July. Within July, we send a welcome pack by email to the new students, and within this welcome pack, you will see a document with all the tips, advices, pages, and also accommodation offers. We have many agreements with some buildings, and so yeah, we definitely have an office will help you to find an accommodation, either in Turin than in Paris. Yeah.
Okay, that's really important to know. We have a few questions about scholarships. Uwaze was asking to talk about scholarships, if any, and also Enrique was asking if there is a full sponsored scholarship available.
Yeah, for this program, we offer some partial scholarship, not full. And they, for the new students, again, we send this welcome pack, and within the welcome pack, you will find the scholarship form, the request form. And then this scholarship will be deducted from the second installment. So it's of 4,000 euros. And it's granted once the program is begun, so around October, more or less.
Okay, so we covered the scholarships, you guys. Maria says, thanks a lot for the answers. No problem, Maria. Feel free to ask anything you'd like. I have a question. I'm not sure his or her name. But I'm guessing the answer is yes, because this person asked, is this program available for students from Nigeria? It's available for everyone, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Raul Felipe was asking, does the program have a cover for international travels? I'm guessing that he's asking about health insurance.
Yeah, there is, all our students need to have 2 insurance, the medical, so the health insurance, and the personal insurance. So at the beginning of the year, we ask you to provide to us all the documents of your personal insurance. And we offer also an health insurance, which is, if I remember well, it's something like 15 euros or something like that, which cover you until the end of the program. So all our ESCP Europe students have this insurance, this health insurance.
So they are all covered.
Yeah.
Okay. I had a question here which was very interesting, and I was wondering if maybe Isabel remembers more. What did your colleague did? So you were here in I forgot the name of the company, but what did your colleagues do for the internship?
So again, what was fantastic about our class and about every class in IFBM is that not only is the age varying, in one whole decade, it's varying in the backgrounds of what they studied and also in the backgrounds, their cultural backgrounds, where they came from. But also it's varying in their interests. So as I said before, some people wanted to work in more manufactured food, so like FMCG companies. Some people wanted to work for their own family-owned companies. Some people want to work in the restaurant business. So the internships were very varied. So along those lines, it's fantastic to see that some people from the class got into multinational companies for their internships, like Mondelez, who owns Oreo, Toblerone, Ritz crackers, etc., Philadelphia cream cheese, all the way to Nestle as well. There is also Lindt. Someone worked for Lindt as their internship. And then other people worked for restaurant businesses in varying positions, either in the kitchen or in the management side of things, or in the marketing side of things, how to market a restaurant. So that's what I can personally think of, but I'm sure there are other examples.
Yes. Okay. And do you remember if any of your non-EU, European Union colleagues found work that led them in the EU?
Yes, definitely. I remember there was one man from Colombia. He worked in Madrid. I think he's still there now. Then there's also our classmate from Lebanon who ended up in Paris, and he's still there working. So it's definitely possible to get visas to work in Europe.
So yes, because this is one question from Enrique. He was asking if a work permit can be provided after the studies. If he finds a company and the company wants to hire him, they will for sure provide the work visa, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Either in Italy than in France.
Yes. Okay.
I would say that you have to learn a little bit of Italian and French, because the job market in Italy and France is like this. If you don't know the language, it's really difficult to find a job position. This is bad too. So
yes, but living in Turin, that's the best way to in Italian.
But also we offer some optional courses of Italian and French. So they are 20 hours each. So if our students want to join this course, they are of course free and they are included in the program, and they help them to improve their skills in Italian and French.
Okay, that's good. I would like to still ask a question to Isabel. What is the main benefit for her work, for her career that she learned in this master or during her internship?
That's a very good question, but also a very difficult one to answer, because for me, to be honestly, this is what started my career in food. As I said before, I didn't have a food or even business background. So this was really a stepping stone for me to be able to actually start working in the field I wanted to work in. And I've already talked about the benefits of being around people who are passionate about the exact same thing that you are, which is food and beverage management. So there's definitely that. And also then I guess I'd have to say the most important thing I learned, other than the classes and what the lecturers and guest speakers and company visits teach you, for me, the biggest thing is the network. Because honestly, you will be surprised by how little the food and beverage business world is, even on a global scale. So everyone knows each other, remembers each other. So these peers of yours in this next class could be your future networking opportunities to find new jobs and vice versa. So, and also obviously to keep in touch with the people you met either as guest lecturers or in the company visits. So that's definitely a fantastic opportunity to already start building your network early on.
Okay. I received a message from an anonymous. If you have any tips regarding living abroad, she says that it will be the first time that she goes abroad. So any tips regarding being in another country, being away from your family and friends? What do you say, Isabel?
Wow. If it's the first time you're going to live abroad, I would definitely say just embrace it. Just really go with it. Be open to new experiences. Be open to meeting as many people as possible. But what I found fantastic in our class was that we weren't that many, so we really became kind of our own family abroad. And a lot of people were, a lot of people were coming from Europe, but some people were coming from Colombia, Lebanon, India, the US. So this is also very far. And it was nice to see that everyone got along so well and became really close friends. And then on top of that, not just that you're in your own IFBM bubble, but then on top of that, you're also in another place that's a very new destination for most of the people in the class. So this was fantastic. Honestly, if you like food, you're going to love Turin. We were just eating pizza, pasta, drinking, it was fantastic. And that's also the cultural experience when you move to Italy. So really embrace it, do as many things as you can, get out after classes, meet new people, go to restaurants, go to company visits. It's really going to be an unforgettable experience.
Oh yeah, and I take this opportunity to ask Elena if this is a full-time master. Do they have time to enjoy the city, to do all of those things, or they study and are on classes? What is the schedule like?
Oh, actually, they have time to enjoy the city only during the weekend. No, I'm joking. But actually, they have generally class from 10 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon. And each class is of 3 hours. So 3 hours in the morning, then 1 hour of lunch break, and then 3 hours in the afternoon. And then when we don't have classes, we have company visits, or students have to work on their own projects. So actually, it's a full-time master because even if they don't have scheduled classes, they have to work in groups for business cases, consultancy project, group project, and so on. So yeah, it's quite stressful. Yeah, quite hard. Yeah.
So they have to coordinate.
Yeah, definitely.
All of them.
And they learn also the time management. I think it's the best way to learn it.
Yeah, which is going to be really important when they are working. Isabel can confirm.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. It's been a great session. Thank you again for all of your questions. It's been really interesting. So, in summary, you can all apply of any background, of any bachelor, if you're interested in food and beverage management. Don't worry, your degree is not going to be an obstacle.
Absolutely.
I thank our speakers very much for being with us today, for explaining to us what the program is like. It's been really helpful for everyone, I believe. And thank you for being with us. Waza says, thank you for being here, Waza. So I hope you have enjoyed it. We will send you all the info in the following days. And we will see you in the next webinar. Thank you, Elena. Thank you, Isabel. And thank you to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Wherever you are.
Have a nice day or evening.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.